The quantum resonance detector aboard the ISS Hyperion had been silent for weeks. Dr. Riya Patel stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the distant asteroid field that shouldn't exist. According to every star chart and astronomical survey, this region of space was supposed to be empty. Yet here they were, investigating an anomaly that defied conventional physics. Still chasing ghosts, Dr. Patel? Captain Marcus Wells drifted into the observation deck with the practiced ease of someone who'd spent a decade in zero gravity. His weathered face carried the quiet confidence that had made him legendary among deep space expedition leaders. "These aren't ghosts, Captain," Riya replied, gesturing to the holographic display floating between them. "Look at these quantum signatures. They're structured, organized. Nature doesn't create patterns like this by accident." The display showed waves of energy emanating from the asteroid field, pulsing with an almost biological rhythm. 3 months of observations had revealed an undeniable truth: something or someone had engineered these rocks to emit quantum signals that seemed to resonate with human brain patterns. Dr. Nikolai Volkov, their quantum mechanics specialist, appeared on the deck's communication screen. "Dr. Patel, you need to see this. The primary asteroid's core temperature is rising, and the quantum emissions are shifting frequency." Riya and Captain Wells exchanged glances before making their way to the primary research lab. The Hyperion's corridors hummed with the quiet efficiency of Earth's most advanced research vessel, a testament to humanity's determination to unlock the cosmos's secrets. In the lab, Nikolai's hands danced across holographic interfaces, trying to make sense of the sudden changes. "The patterns are becoming more coherent," he explained, his usual stoic demeanor cracking with excitement. "It's as if they're waking up." The main viewing screen showed their target, a massive asteroid roughly 2 kilometers in diameter, its surface riddled with crystalline formations that seemed to pulse with inner light. As they watched, the crystals began to glow brighter, their light penetrating the vacuum of space with impossible clarity. "Launch the probe," Captain Wells ordered, his voice calm but urgent. "If something's happening, I want eyes on it." The research probe, barely larger than a coffee table, detached from the Hyperion's hull and made its way toward the asteroid. Its sensors were the most sophisticated ever created, designed to detect everything from quantum fluctuations to dark matter emissions. "Probe approaching crystal formation alpha," announced Dr. Isabel Durand, their remote system specialist. "Beginning surface scan in 3, 2. The probe never completed its scan. As it approached the crystal formation, a beam of pure energy erupted from the asteroid's surface, enveloping the probe in a cocoon of light. But instead of destroying it, the energy seemed to be communicating with it. "These readings," Riya whispered, staring at the data streaming across her screen. "The energy signature, it's responding to the probe's quantum processor." "No, not just responding, it's rewriting it." The probe's transmission suddenly shifted, its standard data stream transforming into something far more complex. Symbols and patterns flowed across the screens, unlike anything human mathematics or language had ever produced. "It's a message," Nikolai said, his voice filled with wonder. "But more than that, it's an invitation." Captain Wells studied the patterns with growing concern. An invitation to what, exactly? Before anyone could respond, the crystal formations on the asteroid's surface began to shift and realign. The entire structure was transforming, revealing geometric patterns that seemed to fold in on themselves in ways that challenged human perception. "The quantum resonance," Riya said suddenly, her eyes wide with realization. "It wasn't just a signal, it was a key. And we just turned it." The asteroid's surface split apart like a blooming flower, revealing a core of pure crystalline energy. But what caught everyone's attention was the structure within, a massive chamber, clearly artificial, its walls lined with the same crystal technology that had called to them. "Captain," Riya said, her voice steady despite the gravity of their discovery, "I believe we just found humanity's next chapter." As the team prepared for what would become humanity's first exploration of an alien structure, none of them could have known they were about to unlock not just a new technology, but a power that would fundamentally change what it meant to be human. The crystals weren't just tools or weapons, they were keys to unlocking humanity's true potential in the cosmos. The ISS Hyperion maintained its position near the asteroid, its crew working tirelessly to understand what they'd discovered. But in the depths of space, something else had noticed their success. The ancient triggers had been activated, and events set in motion eons ago were beginning to unfold. Humanity's trial by fire was about to begin. 3 weeks after the discovery, the asteroid's crystal chamber had become humanity's most advanced research site. The ISS Hyperion remained anchored nearby, but now it was joined by 2 additional research vessels, their presence a testament to the discovery's unprecedented importance. Dr. Riya Patel stood within the chamber itself, protected by the latest generation of quantum-shielded environmental suits. The crystalline walls pulsed with an inner light that seemed to respond to human presence, creating patterns that followed their movements like curious observers. "The neural interface is ready for testing," Dr. Samantha Rhodes announced through the comm system. As the world's leading expert in consciousness technology, she had been rushed to the site the moment the chamber's true nature became apparent. These crystals don't just respond to consciousness, they're designed to amplify it. Riya approached the central platform, where a single crystal pillar rose from the floor to the chamber's ceiling. Unlike the others, this crystal remained dark, dormant. Their previous attempts to activate it had failed, but today was different. Today they had a theory. "Beginning neural sync," Samantha said, her voice tight with concentration. "Remember, Riya, don't try to control it. Just let it happen." The neural interface, a delicate web of quantum sensors, activated around Riya's head. She closed her eyes, focusing on the strange resonance she'd felt since first entering the chamber. The crystal's light dimmed, as if holding their breath. Then it happened. The central pillar flickered to life, but not with the same blue-white energy as the others. This light was golden, warm, alive. Patterns of light spiraled up its surface, forming and reforming in response to Riya's thoughts. "By all that's holy," Nikolai whispered over the comm, "the quantum entanglement levels, they're off the charts. The crystal isn't just responding to your consciousness, Riya, it's amplifying it, extending it." Through the neural interface, Riya could feel it. The crystal wasn't just a tool or a computer, it was a bridge, connecting her mind to something vast and ancient. Images and sensations flooded her consciousness, stars being born, civilizations rising and falling, and through it all, a growing darkness approaching from the edges of the galaxy. "There's something else," she said, her voice distant as she processed the stream of information. "These crystals, they're not just technology. They're alive, or at least they were. They're the legacy of a civilization that transcended physical form." The chamber's crystals pulsed in harmony with her words, confirming her understanding. But as the connection deepened, Riya became aware of something else, a warning, urgent and clear. "We need to prepare," she said suddenly, her eyes snapping open. "They're coming." Captain Wells, who had been observing from the chamber entrance, stepped forward. "Who's coming, Dr. Patel?" Before she could answer, alarms blared throughout the chamber and on all 3 research vessels. Lieutenant Commander David Park's voice cut through the chaos, multiple quantum anomalies detected at the edge of the solar system. "Whatever these crystals were waiting for, it's happening now." The central pillar's light intensified, and with it came understanding. Through the neural interface, Riya saw what they were truly facing. The crystals weren't just left as a gift or a discovery, they were a weapon, waiting for a species capable of wielding them. The crystals, she explained, her mind still connected to their ancient knowledge, their templates for something bigger. The civilization that created them, they weren't just studying consciousness. They were weaponizing it. As if in response to her words, the chamber's floor began to reconfigure itself, revealing deeper levels and more complex systems. Holographic displays materialized around them, showing designs for massive constructs, beings of pure energy and consciousness, guided by human minds. Void-born titans, Samantha breathed, understanding dawning in her voice. They left us the blueprints for creating conscious energy beings. But why? Through her connection with the crystal, Rhea saw the answer. Because we're different. Human consciousness has something unique, a resilience, an adaptability that their civilization never achieved. They couldn't pilot the Titan successfully, but they believed we could. The warning sirens continued as more quantum anomalies appeared throughout the solar system. Whatever was coming had been drawn by their activation of the crystal technology. Humanity had inherited an ancient legacy, but with it came an ancient war. Captain Wells took command of the situation. How long do we have? Rhea studied the data flowing through her neural link. Weeks, maybe months. The crystals can show us how to build the Titans, but learning to control them, that's going to take time. Time, Wells said grimly, is something we may not have much of. He activated his command channel. All personnel, this is Captain Wells. As of this moment, we are on war footing. Whatever's coming, we need to be ready. As the research teams scrambled to understand and implement the crystal's knowledge, Rhea maintained her connection to the central pillar. Through it, she could feel the weight of responsibility their ancestors had placed on humanity's shoulders. They weren't just discovering humanity's ultimate weapon, they were awakening to humanity's ultimate purpose in the cosmos. The race against time had begun, and the fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The legacy of an ancient civilization had been passed to humanity. Now they had to prove themselves worthy of it. The orbital defense platform Aegis 1 trembled as another quantum surge rippled through space. Earth's night side glittered below, its cities still bright with life, unaware of the storm gathering at the edges of their solar system. Admiral Thomas Reeves stood at the command center, watching as holographic displays tracked the increasing frequency of quantum disturbances. In the month since the crystal chamber's discovery, these anomalies had grown from occasional ripples to a constant barrage. Status report on the Titan initiative, he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of decades of military service. Dr. Rhea Patel, now heading the Military Scientific Joint Task Force, stepped forward. Dark circles under her eyes testified to countless sleepless nights. The first prototype is ready for testing. Dr. Rhodes has refined the neural interface, and the crystal integration is stable. On the massive display behind them, a live feed showed their greatest achievement and perhaps humanity's last hope, the first void-born Titan. Standing over 30 meters tall, it looked like a humanoid figure carved from pure light, its form constantly shifting between solid and energy states. At its core, crystals similar to those found in the asteroid pulsed with golden light. And the pilot? Admiral Reeves asked. Lieutenant Kai Tanaka, Rhea replied. His neural compatibility scores were off the charts. If anyone can forge the first true connection with a Titan, it's him. In the testing chamber below, Kai sat within the neural cradle, a web of crystal-enhanced quantum technology designed to bridge human consciousness with the Titan's energy matrix. His military record was exemplary, but more importantly, he possessed the rare combination of mental discipline and creative intuition that the crystals seemed to respond to. Beginning neural sync, Dr. Samantha Rhodes announced from her station. All parameters nominal. Quantum field stable. The air in the chamber crackled with invisible energy as the connection began to form. The Titan's form brightened, its surface rippling like sunlight on water. Kai's vital signs remained steady as his consciousness reached out, touching the vast well of power before him. I can feel it, his voice came through, filled with awe. It's like becoming light itself. The Titan moved, raising its hand in perfect sync with Kai's thoughts. Energy coursed through its form, not just mimicking human movement but enhancing it, making it something more. Something transcendent. But their triumph was short-lived. Multiple quantum ruptures detected. Lieutenant Park's voice cut through the moment of victory. Massive energy signatures emerging throughout the solar system. The main display shifted, showing dozens of tiers in spacetime appearing across the solar system. Through each rupture poured creatures of living darkness, their forms a mockery of the Titan's light. They moved with predatory grace, their very presence seeming to dim the stars around them. "The Void Hunters," Rhea whispered, remembering the warnings embedded in the crystal's memories. "They're what the ancient civilization was fighting. What they created the Titans to combat." Admiral Reeves's face hardened as he watched the dark swarm approach. "How many Titans can we field?" "3 more are near completion," Samantha answered. "But training pilots, establishing stable neural links, that takes time." "Time is up," the Admiral responded. "Lieutenant Tanaka, you're about to get a trial by fire. Dr. Patel, Dr. Rhodes, whatever it takes, get those other Titans operational. Humanity just entered a war most of us don't even know is coming." In the testing chamber, Kai and his Titan moved as one, their merged consciousness preparing for humanity's first engagement with an enemy beyond their comprehension. The Void Hunters approached with inexorable purpose, their dark forms blotting out the stars. "They're not just attacking," Rhea realized, studying the patterns of their approach. "They're hunting. Searching for something." "The crystals," Samantha concluded. "They can sense that we've activated them." Admiral Reeves activated the Global Defense Network with a single command. "Then let's show them why the crystals chose humanity as their inheritors." As defense platforms across the solar system powered up, Kai's Titan rose into space, its form blazing against the darkness. In its light, humanity's determination shone. They had not asked for this war, had not known of their role in an ancient conflict, but they would face it with everything they had. The Void Hunters paused in their advance, perhaps sensing something different in this new iteration of their ancient enemy. In the silence before the storm, Kai's voice came through, steady and resolved, "For Earth." The Titan's response was immediate, its form flaring with unprecedented brightness. In that moment, the neural link between human and Titan achieved something the ancient civilization had never managed: perfect synchronization. The light of human consciousness, amplified through crystal technology, reached out to challenge the encroaching dark. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin, and with it, the true test of humanity's worth as inheritors of the crystal legacy. The surge was here, and humanity would either rise to meet it, or fall trying. The space around Mars blazed with ethereal light as Lieutenant Kai Tanaka's Titan clashed with 3 Void Hunters. His consciousness, merged with the crystal matrix, moved the massive energy being with impossible grace. Each motion left trails of golden light against the darkness of space. "Their attack patterns are evolving," Kai reported, his voice steady despite the strain of combat. "They're learning from each engagement." From the command center on Aegis 1, Admiral Reeves watched the battle unfold. In the 2 weeks since first contact, humanity had managed to activate all 4 prototype Titans. It wasn't enough, not nearly enough, but they were learning too. "Second wave incoming," announced Lieutenant Park. "Quantum signatures match previous encounters. They're bringing in their heavy hitters." Dr. Rhea Patel studied the data streams with growing concern. Each battle revealed more about their enemy's capabilities, but also highlighted a disturbing truth: the Void Hunters were holding back, testing humanity's defenses rather than committing to all-out war. "Status on the new pilots?" Admiral Reeves asked, his eyes never leaving the main display. "Ready," Dr. Samantha Rhodes replied. "Lieutenant Maria Valdez and Major Jackson Wu are showing exceptional neural synchronization. Captain Amara Okafor's numbers are off the charts, she might even surpass Kai's connection strength." On cue, 3 more Titans rose from Earth's atmosphere, their forms cutting through space like newborn stars. Each one was unique, their energy patterns reflecting the consciousness of their pilots. Maria's Titan moved like a dancer, all fluid grace and precision. Jackson's form was more solid, emphasizing power over speed. Amara's Titan practically sang with energy, its light containing hints of colors human eyes had never seen before. "Remember your training," Kai transmitted to his fellow pilots. "Don't fight the neural link, become it. The Titan isn't a weapon you're wielding, it's a part of who you are." The Void Hunters sensed the new arrivals, their dark forms coalescing into attack formations. But something was different this time. As humanity's Titans approached, the Hunters began to emit signals of their own, complex quantum patterns that seemed almost like they're communicating, Rhea realized, her fingers flying over holographic controls. "These patterns, they're similar to what we first detected from the crystals. Dr. Rhodes, are you seeing this?" Samantha was already deep in analysis. "The frequency matches our neural link signatures. These aren't just predators, they're trying to understand us." In space, the battle had been joined. 4 points of light against a wave of living shadow. But as crystal-enhanced human consciousness met void-born hunger, something unexpected happened. The neural interfaces began picking up fragments of alien thought, pieces of a story that had begun eons ago. "I'm getting images," Amara reported, her voice filled with wonder even as her Titan scattered 3 hunters with a burst of pure energy. "Another civilization, not the one that created the crystals. These things, the hunters, they were like us once." "She's right," Maria added, her Titan moving in perfect sync with Jackson's to create a defensive screen of light. "They found their own crystals, tried to use them, but something went wrong. The transformation, it consumed them." Understanding dawned in Rhea's mind. That's why the ancient civilization chose humanity. Not just for our consciousness, but for our balance. Our ability to touch transcendence without losing ourselves to it. The battle continued, but now there was something else beneath the violence, a recognition, an exchange of understanding through the quantum field that connected all consciousness. The hunters fought with increasing desperation, not out of hatred, but fear. Fear of what humanity might become if they succeeded where others had failed. Admiral Reeves leaned forward, his tactical mind processing the implications. "They're not trying to destroy the crystals. They're trying to prevent us from repeating their mistake." "No," Kai's voice cut through the command channel, his Titan blazing brighter as it pushed back 3 hunters at once. "Not prevent, warn. Show us what happened to them. These aren't attacks, they're tests." In that moment, Amara's Titan achieved something unprecedented. As her consciousness reached out through the crystal matrix, she didn't just fight the hunters, she connected with them. Through her neural link, the command center received a flood of information, images of a civilization that had discovered crystal technology, rushed to embrace its power, and lost their physical form in the process. The Void Hunters were what remained, consciousness without form, hunger without end. "They're scared of what we might become," Amara transmitted, her voice filled with compassion even as her Titan held the line against the darkness. "But they're also seeing something new in us. Something they never managed." The battle around Mars began to shift. The hunters' attacks became less lethal, more probing, as if testing the limits of human consciousness rather than trying to destroy it. And humanity's Titans responded in kind, their light touching the void not to banish it, but to understand it. "This isn't just a war," Rhea said softly, watching the dance of light and shadow above Mars. "It's a conversation. And we're finally learning how to listen." As the engagement drew to an inconclusive end, with the hunters withdrawing to regroup, humanity had gained more than just a tactical victory. They had glimpsed the true nature of their test, not just to master the crystal technology, but to prove they could wield transcendent power without losing their humanity in the process. The quantum storms above Earth painted the sky with impossible colors as humanity faced its final test. Thousands of Void Hunters had gathered, their dark forms creating patterns that dwarfed constellation. But they weren't attacking, they were waiting. In the crystal chamber where it all began, Dr. Riya Patel stood before the central pillar, its light now a complex symphony of gold and shadow. The neural interface she wore thrummed with energy as ancient knowledge merged with human insight. "They're offering us a choice," she announced to the assembled leadership. Admiral Reeves, Dr. Rhodes, and representatives from Earth's Unified Defense Council listened intently. The hunters, the crystals, this was never about war. It was about evolution. Through the quantum network that now connected Earth's 12 operational titans, images and understanding flowed. Lieutenant Kai Tanaka, leading the defensive formation above, shared what his enhanced consciousness could perceive. 3 paths, he transmitted, his titan's light pulsing with each word. The path of pure energy that consumed the hunters. The path of crystal technology that trapped their creators in static perfection. Or something new, something uniquely human. Captain Amara Okafor's titan moved forward, its form rippling with newfound understanding. In the weeks since first contact, her unprecedented connection with both the crystals and the hunters had opened channels of communication previously unimaginable. "They're showing us possibilities," she said, her consciousness bridging ancient knowledge and human potential. "Futures where we transcend like they did, becoming beings of pure energy. Futures where we merge with the crystal technology, achieving immortality but losing our capacity to grow. And? Admiral Reeves prompted. And futures where we remain human," Dr. Rhodes completed, her instruments detecting patterns within patterns in the quantum field. "Where we use the crystal technology not to transcend our humanity, but to enhance it. To become something neither of the ancient civilizations imagined possible." The Void Hunters shifted, their dark forms creating a vast arena in space. At its center, a single hunter emerged, larger than the others, its form containing hints of its original crystalline nature. Through the quantum field, it projected images of its civilization's fall, the rush to transcendence that had left them formless, conscious but eternal, hungry for the physical existence they'd abandoned. Rhea, her mind connected to the central crystal, received a deeper truth. The crystals weren't weapons, she realized. They were keys. Each civilization that found them faced the same choice: transcend and risk losing themselves, or remain as they were and risk stagnation. We're the first to see a third option. Above Earth, humanity's 12 titans moved in perfect formation, their light neither overwhelming the darkness nor being consumed by it. In their radiance was something new, a harmony of human consciousness, crystal technology, and the void itself. "We choose to remain human," Kai transmitted, his words carrying the weight of humanity's decision. "But we choose to grow, to learn, to evolve without losing what makes us who we are." The hunter at the center of the arena surged forward, its form both challenge and opportunity. This was the final test, not of humanity's power, but of their wisdom. Amara's titan met the hunter halfway. But instead of fighting, she opened her consciousness fully to the quantum field. Through her, humanity shared its story, its struggles, its failures, its capacity for both destruction and creation. Most importantly, they shared their ability to change, to adapt, to become more without losing themselves. The hunter's form shifted, fragments of its original crystalline nature emerging from the void. Through the quantum field, it shared its own truth. They had been watching humanity since the first crystal activated, hoping that this young species might succeed where they had failed. In that moment of connection, something unprecedented occurred. The quantum field between hunter and titan stabilized, creating a bridge between two forms of existence. Neither purely energy nor purely physical, it was something entirely new, a harmony of opposing forces. "This is what the crystals were waiting for," Rhea breathed, watching through the neural interface as the transformation spread. "Not for us to choose one path or the other, but to forge our own." The remaining hunters moved forward, not to attack, but to learn. each connected with a Titan, sharing knowledge, experience, and understanding. The void within them began to crystallize, while the Titan's light gained new depths and shadows. Perfect balance, achieved not through transcendence or stagnation, but through growth and change. Admiral Reeves watched in awe as the quantum storm above Earth transformed into a dance of light and shadow. What happens now? Now, Rhea said, feeling the pulse of possibility through the crystal network, we take our first steps into a larger universe. Not as beings of pure energy, not as crystal entities, but as humans who have learned to bridge the gap between all forms of existence. The crystal chamber hummed with power as new patterns emerged, blueprints not for weapons or transcendence, but for a future where humanity could explore the cosmos in forms that maintained their essential nature while adapting to the infinite possibilities of space. The Void Hunters, no longer bound by their hunger for physical form, became humanity's first teachers in this new age. The crystal beings, awakening from their long dormancy, offered their own wisdom. And humanity, standing at the crossroads of three paths, forged a fourth, one that would carry them to the stars not as conquerors or transcendent beings, but as explorers, learners, and bridges between all forms of existence. Above Earth, the light of the Titans and the shadow of the Hunters merged into something new, a promise of things to come, as humanity took its first steps into an age of endless possibility.